In this video, you're going to learn about what a building permit is, if you need one for your project, how much it's going to cost, and how long it's going to take for us to acquire one. A building permit is going to be needed for any phase of construction that you're going to do or perform on your home. It ensures that a proper building and safety procedure is followed and that proper building codes are also followed throughout the construction phase of your project. Now, we are always going to want to pull a permit for your construction phases of your project just because you want to make sure that somebody is inspecting it, making sure that whoever's designing the scope of work to be performed on your home also is licensed, insured, bonded. Truly, a building permit just basically gives you a secondary sense of insurance that you know that the project is going to be completed to code and that it's going to be performed and the outcome is going to be to the standards set by the state of California and Arizona. So now to pull a permit for your foundation project, it's not just a simple over-the-counter, I'm going to go fill out your contract and go fill out some paperwork. It's actually pretty intensive. Some cities require additional geotechnical work. Almost all cities are going to require structural engineering sign off and design, but there are a few cities that still do not require the geotechnical engineer survey to be completed. They're getting few and far between, as we're starting to see more and more cities adapt to having a geo and a structural engineering approval of plans is what we're starting to see in our industry for both Arizona and for Southern California. Now, getting those individuals involved, we don't currently have a structural engineer and a geotechnical engineer on staff. So we have to utilize outside resources. So we have a group of structural engineers and a group of geotechnical engineers that we work with on projects every day to put together a design, to submit them to the cities, to then work on getting your foundation repair permit. The cost associated with getting a building permit is more than just the permit itself. A permit through your building department, either your city or your county, is going to have a wide range depending on where you live and the scope of work that's being performed on your home. What we're seeing for an average price for the building permit itself is anywhere between $1,500 to $4,500. It just really depends on how large the scope of work you're doing on your home, as well as where you actually live. Every city has different pricing. Every county has different pricing. So that's why there's such a wide range, and we really truly don't know until we actually get the building permit in hand and paid for from the city. Now on top of that, you also incur structural engineering costs and geotechnical engineering costs. So a structural engineering cost for a foundation repair project currently is right around $3,500. The geotechnical side is going to be closer to $3,500 all the way up to $7,500. Now the wide range is because certain cities are going to require certain things. The minute a geotechnical engineer has to get a boring machine to take soil samples and see exactly how deep things are going to go to get a true samples and a configuration of the soil composition is going to cost at least $5,000 straight out of the gate. All this does is give you a log, and then it has your soil sizes, soil sampling, blow counts, all the stuff that they're going to want to know, or that we'll also find out once we start installing the pier systems. Now this is good to know because then you start getting rid of some of the unknowns, like how deep do we have to put a push pier or a helical pier. This will tell you exactly your soil makeup and kind of eliminate some of the other guesswork of how deep are these things going to go to support my house. So on top of it, you have your structural engineer, you have your geotechnical engineer, And then you have your permit fees. So in all, a permit can cost probably anywhere between, call it $7,000 to $10,000 in additional costs of the actual work that's being performed. So it will add up very quickly. So any additional engineering information that you have for your project or for your home will actually help save you some money if it can be used by the city and county for review. So a building permit can take quite a bit of time to get. Again, just like the cost, it's going to be associated with exactly what city you live in. So we've seen cities take anywhere from 3 weeks to close to 12 months to get your permit. And then it also kind of varies. Like no city is exactly the same. Just because of the amount of construction work that's being performed in each city will obviously dictate the amount of response and projects that they can get out. It's not that we can go in, we submit, they review it right away, and you get your permit. It's usually, we'll submit it, all the paperwork for your permit. Usually they'll give us a 2 to 3 week window for their review, and then 90% of the time there's going to be corrections. We'll then have to send it back up to the geotechnical engineer and structural engineer to change anything that they want on their plans from the city, and then we can resubmit. And they have another 2 or 3 weeks for review before we can finally get a permit. But again, like I said, it just truly varies on the amount of backlog that your city's experiencing, as well as what city you are living in. If you're wanting to learn more about building permits or just foundation repair in general, feel free to visit our website and click on the link Get Started in the top right corner of our website. Now from there, you'll be able to scroll through a plethora of other documents, articles that will help guide you through your foundation repair journey. And as always, we remind you to never settle for shoddy work or work that isn't being performed to the highest standard.